Hey everybody, welcome back to another Judgment commentary of Kabukimonogatari, but today, going to be checking out episode 4, the last episode of this arc in particular, but last time, on episode 3, after Araragi and Shinobu confirmed that they were back in the present, they decided to investigate what exactly caused the end of the world, because yes, the world did in fact end for a reason they were yet to be informed of. Araragi concluded the best way to figure out how the world had ended was to simply travel back in time to the point when they knew the world had ended. Of course, if you ask me, that was a bad play, because if they had worked, they would have been present for the end of the world. Meaning, whatever ended the world would have probably taken them with it, but you know, it's fine, because it didn't work out anyway, because when they went to the shrine to travel back, all the energy was gone, because in this timeline, for some reason, Oshino gave Araragi a different charm to seal up the shrine, and this one didn't dispel the spiritual energy, it absorbed it, meaning they're trapped. But hey, serendipity. Even though they didn't get to go back and figure out what ended the world, the answer came to them anyway, because immediately after finding out about the shrine, they were surrounded by a bunch of zombie-like beings who Shinobu managed to inform Araragi of what they were. Vampires. Or at least, they used to be. For you see, here's how the world ended, and it was because of Mayoi. It all comes back down to the end of Bakemonogatari, when Shinobu had ran off and went on her little quest to find herself, hoping that Araragi would locate her. Mayoi was the one who told Araragi where Shinobu was. She told him that she saw her at that donut place. So without Mayoi to point him in the right direction, he never gets to find her. He never calls out for her to save him from the cat, he gets killed, Shinobu freaks out, reverts back to her full vampire form, and destroys everything. And by destroys everything, I mean, she turned a few people into vampires, and then those people spread out and turned everybody else into vampires. And I guess by consequence, killed every other living being on the planet besides just humans. I don't know, I mean, did they kill all the animals too? All the plants? Maybe. And just to make matters worse, after all was said and done, Shinobu took her own life in her despair. Because she could have done that the entire time. Apparently, she was not incapable of killing herself back when she was at full power, but you're kinda not gonna wanna do that unless you're really at the end of the line. And because she did that, all of the vampires were just stripped of their sanity and turned into these zombie-esque husks. So yeah, what could possibly go wrong by saving one little girl from being a ghost? The end of all life on Earth. And it makes perfect sense. It was a perfectly rational way for this all to play out, man. Excellent writing in hindsight on part of the author there, going back and working that into it, because there's no way he planned this ahead of time, at least not in my opinion. I think this is something where he just went back and thought, if Mayoi weren't there, what would happen? Honestly, quite clever. But what now? They're screwed. The shrine has no energy, everybody is dead, they're currently surrounded by these zombies in the middle of the night. I don't know what they're gonna frickin' do. Also, may I point out, this was all completely in vain. He did this to save Mayoi, and at best, she would have lived 11 more years before being wiped out by the vampire horde. Shoot. And man, you might have actually been able to see this outcome coming if you were more familiar with the events of Bake, if you could remember back far enough and hone in on that one specific moment where Mayoi helped him out. I keep saying Mayoi weird. I'm just kind of slurring it out. If you could go back and remember that one specific moment where Mayoi helped him out, then you might be able to guess this would happen, but maybe not still. But anyway, here we are, in the future, well, technically the present. Let's just see how this goes, now that there's easily more than 100. Let's have it. Wow, right off the bat, let me just say that this is one of the only time travel stories that I've ever seen where they don't have to go back and correct what they did. It's interesting. Usually, like in every freaking time travel thing, you know, they always go back and try to fix something and then they screw it up and then have to go back and fix it again. He didn't have to do that. He just got to hop straight back into his main timeline without having to go back and recreate it. He was just able to hop right back to it, which is seldom done. It's not like it's never been done, but you don't see it as much. And man, I, like Araragi, thought that they were gonna have to fight her because, I mean, realistically, it wasn't too bad of an assumption, right? You don't know what state she's in. According to his letter, she's kept trying to kill herself over and over and over and over, and she went mad after Araragi died. So you might just think that she's gone completely bonkers and might be beyond reason, which would mean you'd have to fight her, but no, they didn't, because she still maintained a shred of her sanity. Seeing Araragi again, you know, kept her going. And she just took that as an opportunity to finally put her miserable life to an end and to help Araragi get back to a timeline where none of that stuff happened. And by the way, I'd just like to point out that Shinobu just soft confirmed what I was saying, that there were some parts of the world that had a heads up about what was going on before they all died. It wasn't just that the entire world was immediately wiped out in that one night, because she said that not everyone's going to come back to life because some of them would have been killed in the riots that were there before getting turned into aberrations. So the fact that there were riots means that once people started hearing that the Eastern Hemisphere was getting wiped out by vampires, they went nuts and started going into anarchy mode, which, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, obviously any people who died in that instance aren't coming back, and maybe even some people who got turned into vampires, maybe they even still died? I mean, I don't think that none of them got killed by even, you know, just some random vampire hunters who were out there. So those ones aren't coming back, but likely anybody who's currently a vampire ghoul thing, they're gonna turn back to normal and then they can rebuild society after the complete collapse. Yeah, it was interesting that we got basically an unreliable narrator type stuff with Shinobu, because she assumed that she would have been able to kill herself, but she was wrong. She was not able to. She tried, but it didn't work. She was too powerful. She wasn't like her minion who was able to take his own life. She couldn't do it. I'm sure she did all of this believing that she was capable, that after all was said and done and the world was destroyed, she would just take her own life. But nope. And then they even confirmed that some people did survive. And one of them just happened to be Mayoi. Freaking destiny, man. Gotta love that. That at least it awarded Araragi a consolation prize that Mayoi didn't end up getting turned into a vampire or anything. She just straight up got to be a hardcore epic survivor in the middle of the apocalypse. And she said that there were other people alive as well, just not in that area. I mean, it makes sense. It's not like Shinobu was going out of her way to just hunt down every last human. She only turned a couple people into vampires and then let them spread out and around. Or at least, no, she didn't. That's not what happened. Oshino clarified that I think it was something more along the lines. He said that she kept trying to make copies of herself, and then making, you know, there were copies of copies, and it just watered them down to the point where they became that. It wasn't like Shinobu thought. But still, the point holds up. She wasn't going personally hunting down people. She was just trying to create more and more copies of herself that eventually got turned into the messy blob things that they were. So yeah, of course there'd be survivors. Because if it was just her going out trying to hunt them down one by one, yeah, she'd find them all, but that's not what she was doing. So best of luck to that timeline. If everybody gets turned back, let's hope they can rebuild society, but aside from all of that, dang, that was actually a really good arc, man. I love a good time travel tale, and this is one of the better ones. I mean, its own internal logic is really sound, you know? They set it all up in a very intelligent way. There's not much in the way that you can detect of major plot holes. Easily, one of the most unique arcs that we've had. It didn't follow the more typical structure that a lot of these did. You know, about, you know, a specific apparition shows up, he's got to help them take care of it, or something like that, or there's like a specific antagonist. This was a whole arc entirely derived from Araragi's actions. He caused this all by changing history, and then just had to try to figure out what went wrong, and then make his way back. And you know what? Thinking about the consequences here, still, it's a pretty dark timeline, just because With Araragi dead, all of his friends and family, they've lost him. He's gone. Frickin' Senjugahara, if she just got turned into a vampire thing, she would come back and Araragi's dead. If she found out that it was frickin' Hanekawa who killed him, then Hanekawa's dead. Jeez, man. And his sisters, they're probably not doing so hot either. Oof. May have saved the world, but there were definitely some costs. But hey, at least Araragi learned the important lesson of not trying to change the past. And he found out right at the last that Mayoi was cool with being a ghost. She would never want to go back to being a human because she's fine with her life the way it is. And that's a-okay. So for now, I guess that's gonna be it, guys, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed. Subscribe to be updated on more. Let me know what you thought of the arc and of the last episode in general. That would be great. Let me know if there's anything interesting you'd like to inform me of. Get tons of comments like that. If there's anything stupid that I said, inform me of that too. But next time, arc numero 3, Otori Monogatari. Otori. Yeah, I know what I'd heard of Kabukis, but Otori. Okay, it can mean a lot of things. So I'm just gonna wait. Maybe someone else can tell me what this one means specifically. And by the way, they name dropped the arc earlier, didn't they? When they said, like, oh man, I'm not getting the specific word that they said. I'm forgetting it, but I know Kabuki, it can mean a word like to be out of the ordinary, right? So, pretty sure that that's what they were alluding to. I made the joke, oh, that's gonna be the next one, only for 10 seconds later for me to be like, oh wait, that's this one, right? Ah well. All in all, really good arc. There's probably a lot more that I could even say, but I'll wait until that all settles in my brain a bit, and I'll talk about that next time for Otori Monogatari Episode 1. It's another 4-episode arc, apparently. And who did it say it was about? Let me say that. Nadeko. Yeah, Nadeko. Previously seen in the Nadeko Snake arc. So Medusa, definitely not too big of a stretch. Just a straight up mythological creature. Kind of like what this arc was. Maybe it'll be a bit of a recurring theme throughout these. Who knows? But anyway, like I said, that's it. So till we meet again, I will see you guys later.